This is Madman and Casper Kills. We're here today to do a continuation of our intro to vaping. This is going to be more along the lines of a frequently asked question type of video, where we're going to address issues that when we started, we didn't know the answers to and had to do a lot of research. Hopefully this will save some of y'all's money. When we first started vaping, I had seen a local article about vaping, about a particular product. So I got all excited and bought it. Wasted $60. It was one of those deals where you get into it and there's a perpetual charge as they want to continually supply you, kind of lock you in on their product. I was lucky enough to get out of that at a minimal expense, but it was not a good device. Fortunately, it did get me into vaping, and I introduced Casper to vaping. He was the research engineer on the whole thing. He's the one that sat there and did all the research, and we kind of went through this roller coaster of different products, what we liked, what we didn't like.
Yeah, and when we started really getting into it, we saw that a lot of people started out on a 510 kit, so we both got 510 kits. We liked those, and then we moved to making mod boxes and things like that. These were devices that we found useful at the time, and then graduated to what I like to call a big battery PV, or even just like an Ego or something like that. I really like Ego, but
yeah, and the Ego is a great starter kit. The 510 is a fantastic little kit to start with if you're not real sure. The price point on it is pretty good for getting into it. You don't have to invest a lot to see if you like it.
Yeah,
it's pretty much the middle ground.
Right. I mean, even if you don't want to spend a whole lot of money, if just to test to see if you like it, I would suggest maybe even getting like a disposable 510 or something like that, just to test and see if it's something that you're really going to want to invest in, and if it's something that is right for you.
Yeah, there's a lot of options out there. You got to figure out what you like. The most common is 510, it seems to be, and that's pretty much the standard right now. It's a nice little vape. It's the middle ground on as far as vapor production and flavor goes.
Yeah, it's pretty much what you would consider the middle ground, I would think. But of course, then once you start graduating, as we were kind of talking about, into the larger PVs, you're going to get into what we like to call the firepower versus mobility argument. Basically, you're going to see, for the longer lasting battery, you're usually going to add some bulk. And it depends on how much you vape, how often you're next to a readily available power source. These things will come into play, and you'll have to determine what type of device is going to be right for you.
Yeah, there's as we talked about on the previous video, you have your pass-throughs, you have which are a great device. The one that I've pretty much fallen in love with is the Ego pass-through.
Love it.
It's a good looking unit. It's portable. It's rechargeable on the fly. To me, that's actually what I recommend to my friends as part of a starter kit.
Yeah, and if it was just us talking to you, we would say, if I were you, what I would start with would be an Ego pass-through bat, either a 510 or a low resistance, maybe 306, and get a drip tip for either. And try out some juices. That's what I would do.
That's pretty much what I recommend to people right now. It's the setup's not too expensive when you do it that way, and you get a good battery life. Plus, anytime you have a USB port, you can charge it.
Yeah, it's a great device. It really is, and it has a decent battery, and it's going to last longer than a 510 battery by far. So,
and as you progress and you want something that will give you a longer battery life, look into getting a big battery like the Omega or the
a Prodigy.
Prodigy's a really good one.
Silver Bullet.
Silver Bullet's another good one.
I mean, there's a ton of them out there. I mean, just do your homework.
Yeah, there's a lot of options out there. You are going to have to figure out what device works best for you. Hit YouTube, see what the different reviewers say. Everybody has an opinion, and everybody's is a little bit different. So pay attention to a lot of people. Don't watch just one or two people.
Yeah, just get around and see what everybody says, and try to come up to your own conclusion of what you think. What's going to be best for you.
Now, when it comes to vendors, one of the key things for me is them being local, because we have a great vendor here that I can go to. I don't have to wait for it to come in the mail. Really fortunate that way.
Not everybody has that.
Right.
You know, obviously, not everyone's in the city like we are. And so what you really want to do is just, again, you want to use the available resources to you to research vendors. You know, of course, you're going to go to their websites and check those out, and that's where a lot of this business is online. But, you know, don't only just check their websites, go to the forums, go to YouTube, you know, see what people are saying.
About them.
That's the best thing we can really recommend as far as finding a good vendor.
And bear in mind that when it comes to juices, flavors vary from vendor to vendor. So just because you don't like the RY4 on one doesn't mean you won't like it from another person, because they're going to taste different.
Yeah, and
And it's not just RY floor; it's any flavor.
any flavor really. It differs. You know, people mix it differently. They get their juices or their flavorings for the juices from different vendors. So it's all going to be. Again, do your homework, and you should be fine when selecting a vendor.
And most of the major vendors out there are most of the vendors you're going to go to the sites on. They've had a lot of product review. They've had a lot of people who just said, you know, I liked them. And in a lot of videos, you will hear how their customer service was, if their shipment came on time, if it was accurate. These are things that a good reviewer will include in their reviews. So watch the reviews, and you'll get an idea of how good the vendor is.
Now, of course, if you just need help, you know, you have questions. Of course, there's the vaping community, which is pretty, you know, as far as we can tell, it's been very informative. Everyone's, you know, willing to share and help each other out. Get to the forums, get to YouTube, check everybody out, you know, start, you know, talking to people. You'll find that everybody will give you an opinion even if you don't want one.
And if you're not sure about a particular thing, find it. You know, with us, if you find something that we reviewed and you're not sure about it, and you watch our review on YouTube, just send us a message. We'll get back to you on it. And most reviewers will do that. I don't think I've run across a reviewer yet that does not respond. So definitely use your resources and know that reviewers and people that make the YouTube videos in general are a source for you to use. The forums are great because you get a lot of opinions on your question. It's not just one-sided as it would be with a reviewer.
Yeah. And there's a lot more people on the forums than there are YouTube reviewers, because not everyone has the time or resources or whatever to make these kinds of videos. But we do, so we try to help out, just like everybody else. And the only other thing I guess we could really address as far as problems is if you have like a problem with your device that you can't really solve by asking people. Of course, the people that you should ask first is going to be your manufacturer. If you get say you got an Omega and it was messed up or something, contact Alt Smoke or whatever. Whoever, got you the device.
Yeah, the vendors are always a great resource. I've personally had problems with products that I've gotten, contacted the vendor that I got the product from, and they've immediately taken care of it. No problem, no, well, are you sure it wasn't this? Did you drop it? No, okay, it's wrong, not a problem, we'll get you taken care of.
So, there are reliable vendors out there that will take care of you. So, if you have a problem with your product, check with the manufacturer or check with the forums, talk to people. That's what this whole thing's about, keeping us connected.
Again, if you have any questions that we didn't address, please let us know. We will get back to you on it. Again, like I said, also use other reviewers, contact the vendors, ask them questions. Use the resources that are out there. Use the forums, they're fantastic. And like I said, the great thing about the forum is you get multiple opinions. You say, hey, I've got this problem, and the next thing you know, you got 20 people saying, well, this is what I did. Because somebody else has most likely experienced it.
And if not, they'll give you at least an opinion on what they think about your problem.
Well, this is going to wrap it up. It's getting kind of late here. I know it's a short video. I apologize for that. But if you have any questions that we didn't address, let us know. Shoot us a PM or leave a comment. We are going to include a few links to forums and whatnot that we've talked about in the down below. So check them out. Let us know what you think.
And as always, vape on.